1 minute warning!
To the goofball army out there, hi at the families, tell them to get to the next room, tell them to go to your neighbors, because we got goofball news to go over, and it might get crazy.
Typically does, guys. If this is your first episode ever, you got like 30 seconds before we start, so not enough time to go to the bathroom, but go get a drink, because trust me, you're probably going to need it there. In the meantime, the rest, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. That way you know about future episodes as well, guys. Buckle your seatbelts if you haven't already. Make sure your tray is in the upright position here, guys, because we are just about ready to get going. And like, oof.
Guys, if you want a crazy ride going forward, a bunch of nonsense, but all nothing but the truth about the Giants, listen in, buckle in, tell a friend.
Let's go.
And now, here are your goofball hosts, Drew and Rob.
Welcome, fellow goofballs, to Two Giant Goofballs, the New York Giants podcast. I am Drew, joined as always by
Rob, as I'm going crazy over here.
Just knock your whole webcam off, goddamn.
Pretty much.
Sheesh.
I got really excited. I don't know.
Goddamn blooper.
Light.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, guys, listen, we won yesterday, so I guess we should be happy. Deb's in the building. She's happy, I know. So someone's happy. And you know how I know they're happy? Because if they're happy and they know it and they really want to show it, they clap their hands. Damn straight. So listen, guys, we got go over some news here on Joe Schoen, and supposedly he's saying we'll find out if we think that's legit or not. We have one head coach we can tell you is definitely not coming to the Giants after news today. And of course, we have to give you guys the recap of week 17. It's a crazy week. It feels like it's been going on forever because it's literally like Thursday games, now Saturday games, Sunday games, Monday. You add that one extra day and you add all these extra games on Thursday. It just feels like this week took forever. But it's almost over. It's almost over. We got one more game going on right now for you guys. So let's break right into it here, talking about Joe Schoen. So yeah, guys, news broke yesterday. Kind of broke in a weird way. To be honest, I think people are just bored at this point. But there's wording on NFL Network scene here with Ian Rapoport. And anytime Ian Rapoport's on, people tend to listen. He does tend to know things. Like Tim or Schefter, those two somehow know everything. And you know, this wording on the screen there, and maybe it was accidental, maybe it wasn't there, and just kind of opened up the biggest question here at Giants fans right now, especially after it's pointed out by Ryan Dunleavy on Twitter, X, whatever the hell you want to call it nowadays.
Thanks for giving it to you.
The NFL Network screen says Joe Schoen likely to remain with team for draft. Hashtag Giants. Interesting wording. And shows the screenshot. And listen, it's there. 100% it's there. Like it's sitting there saying, yep, Joe Schoen staying with the Giants throughout the draft process. You know who didn't say that though? Ian Rapoport. Or the Giants. You're not wrong there. I mean, they say they hope to continue, but they're going to make the decision after the season. Honestly, guys, this has been going all over Twitterverse and people talking about it nonstop that are content creators. And listen, if Ian Rapoport didn't say it, if nobody in the Giants said it, it just happened to have some words on the screen. You know who puts those words on the screen? Interns. People that are, that's not like Ian Rapoport going, let me just type this up real quick. Like he would have said that if he was hearing that. He didn't say anything. And I do think the Giants want to keep Joe Schoen. Don't get me wrong. I think they would love the continuity of keeping Joe Schoen. But I also think that they recognize that they might not get the head coach they want because of that either.
Yeah, so you have to very loosely say what you're going to do with his future, because I don't think they know what they're going to do with the future because it's in the air. They may want to keep Schoen, but if they could get, the head coach you want, but the head coach says, I want a GM like this guy, they're going to say, Schoen, good work for the past 4 years. Get out.
I hope they don't say good work.
That's facetious. It's not supposed to be.
I mean, it kind of reminds me of last year with the Jaguars. Remember their GM, and I'm sorry, I forget his name, the former GM they had. It was a big issue where the Jaguars like, nope, we're keeping this guy. And everybody's like, are you crazy? He's not that good. Then they went for a coaching search. They wanted Ian Cohn, and Ian's like, yeah, I don't want to work with that guy. And they fired the GM just to get Liam Cohn. Now, let's be honest here at this point, the Jaguars wins, like they made the right move clearly because he's working out there so far. Though I always say be very dangerous. Be very dangerous about it, like being overly confident after one good year. As a Giant fan, we've learned this looking at U22. But listen, it's a situation that you always have potential of. And it depends on how much the team loves the GM they have. And I don't think the Giants can sit there and sit there in, to use a David Gettleman term, full bloom love at this point with Joe Schoen. Like, you may want to keep him, you may like him. But can you really sit there and say, even if you're the biggest Schoen supporter ever, that this guy's a slam dunk pick as that, and you should just go with whatever head coach wants to work with him?
Yeah, if you're a real business, like you're making a business decision and you have the ability to get the best talent in the building, but they don't want to work with the person you have there. They want to bring in someone better.
Yeah.
Pretty obvious right there. Granted, I don't want to see anyone get fired, but at the end of the day,
I'm pissed. I want to see people fired.
But at the end of the day, fire his ass.
There we go. I'm not saying fire him, but fire him.
In the words of Vince McMahon, you're fired.
Oh my. But yeah, like I said, I don't take too much into that. I really think people are kind of overlooking that whole thing. And again, that's what happened with Jacksonville. And they wanted Liam Cohn. They got rid of their GM. And it was crazy because Liam Cohn just restructured his contract with the Bucks because they wanted to keep him. And then, like, the second they fired the GM and Jacksonville was like, okay, never mind, I'm going to go there after all.
Yeah.
The Bucks literally couldn't find the guy. He went like totally AWOL for 24 hours. You know? It's just, it is what it is. Oh, Deb says, how about let him go or cut ties with him? Better?
Yeah.
It's not personal. It's business. So I have no problem. Fire him. Done.
I'm a softie at heart. I don't like to see anyone lose their jobs out there. But, you know, at the same time, I've been a boss. I was a manager and supervisor for over a decade. If you're not performing, it's not my fault. You did it to yourself. Vacuum sales are tough as sucks.
I mean, we've all worked people that weren't good at the job, but it's not personal. I mean, I myself as a manager have fired people and said, listen, it's just not cut out for you. It's not going to happen. It's not a good fit. There's nothing personal in that, and I hope you're the best in the future. And I really meant it when I said it to people. You know, you got to take the personal out of it, and that's what this is. This is not personal. This is point blank that Joe Schoen is not good at his job. When you have multiple years in a row of having kicker issues.
Yeah.
You got times you had a full roster to pick from for game day.
Ridiculous. And who knows? Down the road, Shane, you may go to the Raiders in 10 years from now and make them the best AFC team out there.
I doubt it. You got this, the Raiders.
I'm just throwing things out there. Who knows? But you're not doing it for the Giants, so cut him out.
Yep, time to go. Time to go, guys. Again, now, he's not the worst problem the Giants have. I'm not going to sit there and say that either, though. Because, again, like we said before, everything you're excited about the Giants was probably him. Jackson Dart, Cam Scatterboo, pass rush, offensive line finally gelling. A lot of that was him. Love him or hate him. Don't get me wrong. I definitely go in there. I don't want to say hate, but dislike category. It is what it is. Hopefully he's gone. And hopefully that's just like I thought. Some stupid intern popping in on the thing and probably not gonna get in trouble. Kind of like the intern that gave the pilot's name in the Asiatic flight a couple years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that one? Captain Wee Too Low, Holy Fook, and all that. Ding Dang Owl, like whatever it was. Like, it is what it is. So, all right, guys. Let's get to who we know is not going to be the coach here, because one of the biggest coaching names just took himself off the board entirely, not just for the Giants, but for the entire NFL there. And that's Marcus Freeman. So, Sports Illustrated's Pat Ford reported that Freeman informed 2 NFL franchises that had been in communication with him about their jobs that he was staying put at Notre Dame. So Freeman and Notre Dame apparently agreed to restructure his deal, agreeing to pay him top tier dollar.
Kudos to him.
Yeah. I mean, listen, in the end, it's probably what he wanted. Let's be honest. He wanted to stay at Notre Dame because he didn't even get a chance for all the jobs to come up yet. Like, let's be honest that, again, we talked about it there. Next year, or this offseason, I should say, so maybe like next month, you could have jobs opening up in Baltimore or Pittsburgh. You know, those 2 spots are rumored to be potentially needing a fresh start there. You know the Tennessee job's going to be there. Got a young quarterback playing better. Obviously, ours, I think, is a pretty, legitimate franchise. And we got our issues we complain about nonstop, but we still got 4 Super Bowl rings in the last 40 years. We still got all kinds of, young players, young talented players people are interested in. I mean, there's plenty of good job openings. So if he just took himself out, he didn't want to go to the NFL. And that's fine. You don't have to. But he clearly used the Giants in the NFL to go ahead and raise his profile and his paycheck from Notre Dame.
I mean, as a business point, I'm not mad.
No, I'm not mad, but I'll tell you this, and granted, I hope to not be in this scenario again the next couple of years. But let's say, for example, I'm going to go a little knock on wood here because I don't want to do this. But let's say we hire somebody and they suck in 2 years. We're back to looking for a head coach again. I would not want Freeman. His heart's not in it. And that's what I will always think of him now. He's the guy who wants to be in college. And that's fine. Be in college. Make your money. Do your thing. I'm not knocking it. But it tells me you don't want to go to the NFL. And if you don't want to go to the NFL, I don't want you in the NFL.
Exactly.
So, all seriousness, best of luck to Notre Dame. It's a historical school, obviously. Ton of history to it. Hasn't necessarily been, until recently when Freeman got there, hasn't necessarily been doing great. But, like I said, let him stay there. That's where he wants to stay. Let him stay there. Let him make his money. He wasn't even on our top 5. Like, we want an NFL experienced guy. That's not him. And instead, he can sit there and he can, stay at Notre Dame, be the biggest name in the entire city, basically, and do what he wants to do. So, and again, ton of money. As Jay says, Jason's kid.
I was about to say, Jay put it out there perfect.
Dipshit fans in Mara fending off Pat Leonard once a week for less pay. I mean, first of all, who knows about the less pay? We all assume, but it's
typically how it works out.
Doesn't make sense. He couldn't want to be here. So, like I said, best of luck with him. No hard feelings whatsoever because we didn't really want him here either. I don't know how serious the Giants were, to be honest. I think he would have got a interview if he had, stayed in the running. But I don't think he would have gotten the job unless he blew them away, which is kind of a scary, concept because Joe Judge blew them away. So you never know.
I would have to imagine he was the candidate you bring in. Not so much that you want him to take the job, but you want to pick his brain on what he did to Notre Dame to change how they've played the past few years.
Yeah.
So you bring in, like, what are you doing different to the young talent that's coming up to the NFL, that's come into the NFL? What are you doing to motivate them to get them working?
Yeah, I mean, we don't know what he would do. We know what he'd do with the college kids. It's a different thing. I mean, like with Freeman. Imagine him like all of a sudden getting a guy who's like 30 years old, been in the league for 10 years. He's like, treat him like a college kid. You don't know.
But once again, it's a person you bring in to pick the brain of to see how they do the young talent, like how they work with the young talent, the ones that are coming in. If you have an old school mindset, you may not know the 6'7" out there, if you will.
Oh my God.
You bring in something like that.
The
to figure out
6'7"? We're using it as a noun now?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I just totally butchered how to use 6'7". So,
yes, you did. I'm like, what the hell? I thought I was old. You're the younger of the two of us. Come on.
I purposely did it that way.
You're supposed to be in with the kids.
I'm hip. I got a good one. I'm hip.
You're looking very sus with this.
I'm just saying, you bring a guy like that to talk to, and like some of the older staff there, like oh, this is kind of all right. Something we haven't been doing. This is how the kids are reacting to it. Okay, thanks for the interview. We'll let you know. Send a letter and some cookies.
A letter and some cookies? Was Santa coming?
Yeah,
he came. Alrighty, guys. Listen, we're gonna go ahead and pay the bills real quick, and then we'll right back. We'll give you guys the recap of Week 17 here.
Thanks for watching. Like the show? Of course you do, or you would have turned it off by now and not be hearing me. There are plenty of ways to support the show. YouTube is the best place to join us, and we offer memberships there with fun benefits like custom emojis and early access to video clips. Of course, there you can also send super chats and stickers to send one-time support payments. The best way to support the show is to buy these drunk idiots beers at buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs. Along with one-time support payments, there are also monthly plans, so you can continue to help kill their livers each month. You can also show people that you are a goofball by visiting our store at 2giantgoofballs-shop.fourthwall.com. We got everything from shirts, hats, phone cases, funny candles, buttons, stickers, and even a 2 Giant Goofballs towel to dry off your goofballs. Of course, you can always support the show for free by simply hitting the like, subscribe, and share button wherever you are watching or listening to this. Hit the thumbs up on YouTube. Leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. It helps the show tremendously, and quite frankly, the goofballs suck at marketing and need your help to get the word out. Thank you for being part of the Goofball Army and for taking the time out to support the show.
Alrighty, guys. Let's get into our recap here. Like I said, crazy week here. Week 17 wasn't about style points, it was about decisions, fourth downs, and consequences here. And of course, it started again Christmas Day. Dallas Cowboys at the Washington Commanders. And again, this was the Christmas one. We'll go through this nice and quick here, but Cowboys won 30-23. And listen, honestly, a closer game than I expected it to be. Kind of a aggressive play calling by Washington. They kind of held in there better than I expected, but in the end, Washington just sucks this year. It is what it is. So, you got crappy team versus average team. Typically, average team wins,
especially when the crappy team's beat up and injured.
Yeah, it doesn't have their quarterback.
Yeah. Up next, a game that I don't think anyone really saw coming. The Minnesota Vikings hosting the Lions, and the Vikings went berserker on the Lions there. The Vikings win 23-10 in a game where, the Lions were favored by 5.5 points on the road, which pretty much Vegas said they're going to win by like 8.5 points. So, yeah. It's also pretty easy to do when the Vikings just kept on getting turnovers and nonstop to this game. The Lions just kept on making mistakes, and coaching was the big difference here. One team was a little too risky, the other team was very concerned about how to play the ball, and turnovers didn't happen on the other side of the football. And the division rivals are now pretty much knocked the Lions out of the playoffs. So,
yeah, who would have thought that the Lions would literally be fourth in the NFC North? Last place. They are technically at 8-8 now.
Same with the Vikings. You would have told me the Vikings after the first 6 weeks of football would turn around and be 8-8 at this point. I would probably laugh at you.
Total reverse. And it's funny. You and I talked about this before the season that the Lions were making big changes, obviously, with losing both their offensive, defensive coordinators there to the head coaching positions there, and going, oh, this could be an issue. Well,
it was an issue.
It was an issue. And this crazy thing was the defense was more the issue than anything else. But now they've lost the last 3 weeks in a row. They literally scored the most points of anybody else in the NFC North, but they also gave up the most points in anybody in the NFC North. Now, granted, by 1 point. When we gave up one more point in the season than the Bears have. The Bears just weird how they win. That's a whole separate issue.
It's a whole side topic.
Yeah, but like I said, it's just crazy, and you got to wonder if big changes are coming. That's what you're hearing now is a new offensive coordinator, basically. You know,
you would have to think so after how effective they were, and how great Goff has looked under Campbell. And this year he still looks good, but he hasn't looked as elite as he has been.
Yeah, I mean, and again, it's not even Campbell; it's Ben Johnson. He looked great under him. Ben Johnson's gone to the Bears, and this offense hasn't been quite the same. But again, the defense has been the issue as well. So it's just craziness. They used to just outscore everybody. Now they're scoring more than anybody else in their division, but their defense is still not good, and it's not quite as much they used to do. And just the margin of error got smaller. And turnovers have definitely been an issue. There was definitely an issue, with this game here because they kept giving the Vikings the ball in short field position. And that's never going to help.
No, it was terrible. Yeah, it was a rough game to watch.
Last one we got for Christmas was the Broncos at the Chiefs. And I got to give the Chiefs credit. They held in better than I expected them to do. The Broncos won.
I told you, bro.
13. Listen, I'm still hoping. Obviously Mahomes is out. Gardner Minshew's out. You got, no-name quarterback now. Just insanity. You go with the best starting quarterback in the league, basically, one of the best backups. And somehow you get stuck with a shitty situation where you don't even have a quarterback, basically. So defense did what they had to do, but in the end, it's hard to win with your third-string quarterback against a very, very good team at the Broncos, and that's exactly what happened there. So, Broncos just did their thing.
Oh, yeah. Talk about doing your thing. You had the Texans going into L.A.
Saturday.
The Chargers on Saturday. Chargers host Texans, but the Texans go in there and beat up on them. The 20-16, and I don't think the score really tells the tape there. Like, if you watch that game, it was close, but it felt like Texans kind of took the lead and never let go of the reins.
They turned him into Texas toast.
Texas toast. Can't be doing that to me, man.
I do love some good Texas toast.
Yeah. Saturday game, guys. We pretty much went through this already, but Texans looked like the better team. They had a turnover in the fourth quarter that really sealed the deal for them.
You're still thinking about toast, aren't you?
I am. I need to go eat dinner.
Oh,
it's been a late day at work, but Texans this whole game, it's the battle of the defenses, and the Texans has probably one of the best defenses in the league as of right now, and they capitalized on that turnover with field position and won the game in the fourth quarter. So Texans win.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is now the Chargers have nothing to play for basically this week. So anybody who's unaware, but they've already said Justin Herbert's going to be sitting next week. Trey Lance going to starting for the Chargers in week 18 there because let's face it, Justin Herbert needs a break.
Dude has been getting his beat up, if you will.
Yeah, and it's that offensive line has just been crap. It's been ours has looked amazing for once. Theirs has been bad. But yeah, so next up, we got our second Saturday game.
I appreciate the order.
The Baltimore Ravens at the Green Bay Packers. And listen, I this is a get out of jail free card here for Rob. He's going to talk about this game. The Ravens destroyed the Packers 41-24 without Lamar Jackson. That's insanity. Derrick Henry was by far the star of the game here. 3 first half touchdowns. And in the fourth quarter scored another 25-yard touchdown as well on top of that. 36 carries, 216 yards to go with those 4 touchdowns. Yeah, absolute insanity there. So, listen, it is what it is. You had, quarterback issues all around. You had Derrick Henry just being a freaking beast, and in the end, the Packers just look defeated in this game. And it's weird.
Well, they also had Malik Willis in that game. Malik Willis was a starter because you had Love and concussion protocol. And then Willis actually left the game for a little bit because he also got a little banged up. So it was
but they didn't I'm sorry, the offense didn't give up 41 points. That's my issue.
They were definitely missing
points. Not great offensive output, but let's be honest, considering what they had going on at quarterback, that wasn't a bad offensive output. 41 points.
Yeah, they were missing Parsons that game.
Yeah, they're missing a lot in that game. It seems like tackles.
Yeah, missing a lot of tackles.
Let's get to
next
Sunday.
All right, you had the Panthers hosting Seattle, and Seattle did exactly what they were supposed to do in that game. They just beat up on the young up-and-coming team. It goes to show you that Seattle, like Drew and I have been saying, is probably one of the better teams in the NFC this year.
Mm-hmm.
And they're making the case, especially if you guys are watching live with us. The Rams aren't looking so good right now against a bad team. Seahawks win 27-10. And it was just a beat-up game on the Seahawks. I don't want to say it's getting right because they won last week, the prior week. So it's not a good right game. They're taking the momentum and rolling into the playoffs is what they're doing right now.
Yeah.
And
momentum is following, that's for sure.
Yeah. The Panthers had a little bit of a hope in there, but they want to throw an interception, which just literally just killed all the confidence in the Panthers. And the Seattle just ran the ball in that second half just to blow out the clock because otherwise, Roger Goodell is probably going to have to come in this game and throw a mercy roll.
A 17-point win. I don't know if I go that far of a mercy roll.
If you watch the game, it was over in 2 quarters.
I'm just saying, if anything, he was going to sit there for a mercy roll for anytime the Jets play at this point.
Yeah, we'll get to that game later.
Oh, yes, we will. So, next up, though, is that game. We got the Patriots at the Jets there. Absolute insanity this game was here.
Domination.
42-10. And let's be very frank in that the Patriots did not even try to play really. They stopped even trying to score, it seemed like. Drake May left the game after the first half with 19 of 21, 256 yards, 5 touchdowns. That's insane. And what's even crazier is the 5 touchdowns went to 5 different receivers. It wasn't like one guy was getting the ball nonstop. This wasn't a Wandale versus the Raiders scenario. Diggs had 101 yards. He was almost twice as much as anybody else, but he had 6 catches.
Yeah,
they just absolutely dominated the Jets, as you'd expect. And Cook couldn't get anything cooking for the offense for the Jets. And it is what it is there. They just did not do very well. In the game as well for the Jets, Breece Hall got hurt too. So we'll have to find out what happens there. He did complete a 1,000-yard season, though. That's an accomplishment. He's the first Jet running back to have 1,000 yards in a few years there. So almost did it back in 23 as well. So just 7 yards short. But, he's, like I said, good player that
just on the Jets.
Unfortunately plays on a really bad team, which we have no room to talk about. I'll say that up front. But it is what it is. Next up.
Yeah. Next game, you had the Browns hosting the Steelers. And the upset of the week, I have to probably, the upset of the week. The Browns wind up winning with 1 touchdown, which is on that opening scripted drive that they had planned out, and there's no other touchdowns in this game whatsoever. It was a brutal AFC North battle back and forth, kind of how I called this game earlier in the week. This is one of those defensive games where they showed up. They pretty much the Browns defense stopped Aaron Rodgers in the red zone. Non-stop. They kept on trying to throw the ball through the air instead of running the ball late in the game, which, yeah, you're down. You need to throw the ball, but when you're in the red zone, you can still run the ball a little bit. They didn't let Myles Garrett, though, get the all-time sack record. So I guess kudos to Rodgers for that.
Well, it's funny because Myles Garrett said point blank that he thought the Steelers were so hell-bent on him not getting the record that they focused so much on him that they let other players hurt them. And that's why they only scored 6 points.
So it could have been way too conservative, but
yeah,
it was definitely one of those way more conservative games by both these teams of trying to respect the other team, playing tough defenses. And the only team that played the correct conservative game was the Browns, which is kind of weird to say that they played the right game plan. They had the right script for the game, but they did. They beat the Steelers 13-6.
Yeah, absolute insanity. That I don't think anybody expected that one. That's right out there with the Vikings crushing the Lions.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So, all right. Next up, we got the Jaguars at the Colts, the AFC South matchup. It looked like it was going to be much better earlier in this year until the Colts decided to go 1-7. But yeah, closer game to expect though. Jaguars are one of the better teams in the NFL, which just sounds weird to say. I'm going to say it again. Yes, you heard me right. The Jaguars are one of the best teams in the NFL.
It's also a divisional game where they,
I know it's just
tough.
It's just like I said, it's just weird to say that about the Jaguars, but the Jaguars did pull out a close victory, 23-17. This may have been once again that we're going to go ahead and we saw the last game of Phillip Rivers because they don't know what they're doing next week. There's a rumor that they might sit him, not because of any issues on his end, but because of the fact that they want to go ahead and give their young quarterback a chance to go ahead and see what he can do. So Riley Leonard may be starting that last game for the Chargers, which would be a shame. I mean, let me be very frank. No offense to Riley Leonard, but you're not going to be an NFL quarterback for long. You're not going to be a guy anybody's going to remember in 5 years. I feel rude saying it, but
a little bit.
I'm being honest.
A little bit.
Well, let's be very frank.
No, you're Drew, but you're correct in your statement.
Meanwhile, Phillip Rivers is at the worst case scenario, a borderline Hall of Fame guy. I'd rather see Phillip Rivers. And I know they're doing it for Riley Leonard. They're not doing it for me, whatever. But I don't think there's a chance in hell that anyone actually thinks that Riley Leonard is anything other than like a third string quarterback.
He might be able to get there second string.
Maybe. And if that's your peak, that just tells me I don't need you starting. Let's see one more game of Fat Man Rivers. That man looks like he swallowed up the entire Mississippi River. Goddamn.
Listen, he has grandkids. He's definitely playing that Santa Claus role, and he took it a little too serious.
Definitely did. Well, when you have that many kids, you can't afford to take them all to the mall to see Santa.
No. What's he got? 13 kids and like 3 grandkids?
Ridiculous. He's like what's that? The Duggars on TLC back in the day.
Yeah, he's got the worst pull-out game I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, he has none. That's pretty obvious. So, but again, close game, and hopefully we get one more shot at seeing Phillip Rivers play before he retires again. But what he has promised is going to be the last time. But he promised it the last time too.
For his sake, let's hope so. Because Grant, he's a competitor. He's playing better football than I thought, but let's not embarrass yourself, bro. All right, next game. You had the Cardinals going into Cincinnati. And boy, Dude, they wish they would have took the bus back to Arizona for this game because they got walloped. You had the Bengals just throwing off explosive plays after plays after plays, and they win this game 37-14. I foolishly thought this game was going to be a little more defensive, but the Bengals said, hold my beer. Watch this. Ready? 30-yard pass. Bomb. I was wrong. Cardinals couldn't do anything in the red zone of this game, and I guess I was right. The Bengals looked a little better there. And, yeah, it was just pretty much a bloodbath. The Panthers just ripped apart the Birds.
Yeah, the Cardinals had just not a single shot. Not a single shot this whole game. It was sad to watch. What also was sad to watch was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers playing the Miami Dolphins. Like, this was supposed to be a win the division kind of game for them. And god damn, they couldn't get a thing going. They end up losing to the Dolphins 20-17. This team has been in just absolute disarray the entire second half. They're like as bad as we are the second half of the season.
They really are.
It's insane. I've never seen a team start off so well and do so bad until this year. And then we got two of them, the Bucks and the Colts. It's like a tale of two seasons. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. It
was the best of times. It was the worst of times.
Yeah, just absolutely insanity there. And the defense for the Dolphins is what actually made the stops, which is crazy. You think of the offensive players for the Dolphins, obviously, but the defenses who made the stops there. And like I said, it's just
call it pregame, bro. Just tell you, that defense has stepped up a lot more than people are giving credit for this year. They were one of the worst offenses 2 years ago. This year, they're average, maybe a little above average.
I don't know.
And they had to develop after Tua was down earlier this year.
It's got to see what Quinn Ewers is. I think he's a backup at best.
Maybe he might be a low end starter, but talk about another game of who's going to be the starter, who's not going to be the starter. Saints win against the Titans, and it actually was a fun game to watch.
It was. I told you, babe. I was wrong on the score part. I thought it'd be extremely low scoring, but it was.
Yeah. It was one of those games where it could be low scoring, high scoring. You didn't know what to expect because these teams are on the lower end of the spectrum of talent-wise, so you see some big plays, and that's exactly what happened. Saints win this game 34-26, and they were down at the in the first half. So it was a second half rally, if you will. Yeah, it was just a fun game to watch. Once the Saints got up by 3 scores later in the game, like it was just no looking back. Titans failed a 2-point conversion late after a touchdown, trying to tie up the game, and the Saints said nope, blocked, and then they go score another touchdown. It was just it was a fun game to watch by two teams that had absolutely nothing on the line except for ego and vanity.
And Tyler Shuck trying to get a starting job.
I think he's earned it. I don't think he's the legit starter, but I think he's earned the right to come back next year and be the starter. Unless he get an awesome quarterback in the draft. But
I do think I think it's a potential. I really do. Then of course we have our game. So we got the Giants at the Tankers. I mean Raiders. And it's funny, we got a Raiders fan in the chat there saying thanks for the win. Like they're not going to mess up the draft anyway.
Yeah.
Be very frank on this. It's the Raiders. But yeah, Giants absolutely walloped the Raiders 34-10 in a game that none of us wanted to win on either side. I mean, not like no Giants fan, like no Giant fan wanted to win except for Deb. No Raiders fans wanted to win. Like nobody wanted to win this game, but somebody had to. And in the end, flat out, and listen, I don't pretend to be a Raiders fan to know like every single play, that they've ever called and how their play calling is on a regular basis. Because even when I scouted the team, I watched the replays of the offense and defense and the quick views, not watching the entire game like that. So do like play by play instead of talking to see what leads up to everything. God damn, that was bad play calling on their part. Like it's like 3rd and long. Let's we do. Ashton Genty's averaging 2 yards a carry. Let's run it up the middle. Like what?
It was like watching the Giants on reverse.
Yeah, it's bad tackling, everything. So it's like it is, it's there. It's just we won. I'm okay. But in the end, it doesn't matter because the Raiders are gonna raid. They're gonna mess up. They're gonna be an embarrassment to the NFL. And I'm kind of curious to see what happens to the whole Max Crosby thing because it's weird how he's like literally posting videos of himself playing basketball and jumping on a trampoline after they put him on the IR.
Yeah.
That's a little crazy. I just, but I'll say, I don't think he looked like he was planting very well. Like he wasn't really planting his foot very well in those videos, I thought. But
yeah,
it's still like it does open the question for that they really want to go ahead and do something. And Anthony just put it up what I was kind of alluding to. It's just imagine if the league takes away their pick. How hilarious would that be if they prove that they tanked?
That would be the Raiders thing to do. That might be the most Raiders thing to do.
Plus, you know what that means? We get the first overall pick back and the win.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, we can still get the first overall pick. This ain't over yet. If the Chiefs somehow, lose one for the Gipper here and allow the Raiders to beat them, we could be right back in number 1. We'll find out, guys. That would be the Raider move right there. That would be the Raider move to lose on purpose to the Giants, only to beat the Chiefs the next week and lose the number 1 overall pick all over again.
Or you're busted for tanking and losing the number 1 overall pick.
Exactly. NFL just do a lottery already. It's ridiculous. All right, next up, go for it, Rob.
All right. This is actually was one of the best games of the week, heartbreaker, if you will, for the Bills. Bills host the Eagles, and they wound up losing at the end of the fourth quarter, 13-12. You had they missed the extra point early in the game, and the Eagles were pretty much stopped on the last 4 drives of the game. The Bills defense just stopped them. And then Bills score a touchdown. And what do? They go for a 2-point conversion because they didn't trust a kicker to make the extra point, which as a Giants fan, we get it. We understand. Like, sometimes you don't have a kicker out there that, gets field goals for you. So they opted for the 2-point conversion and failed.
Yeah.
And this is probably the most talk of the Monday, the overreaction Mondays. Drew, as a head coach, would you have gone for the extra point, or would you have gone for a 2-point conversion? I would have to say, as me as a head coach in that game, I probably would have went for the extra point. Yeah, you missed one early, but your defense has stepped up so much in that second half that the Eagles didn't have an answer. But you went balls to the wall.
I just never. I don't know. I just feel like you risk it by doing either way, and I get both sides of the argument on that. So I don't know. I'm more conservative. Like I'll probably go for the extra point myself, especially if I'm playing good, like you said. But I can honestly see both.
And the only reason I bring that because the other point is I was playing devil's advocate with myself when I was watching this game. Josh Allen had to play hero ball a lot this year just to get some wins. And did you want him to go out there for another 15 minutes possibly and get beat up again? So maybe that's why they went for it. Guts and glory.
Yeah, I mean that's what a lot of people do now. It's more the in thing to do than the guts and glory thing. I do find it crazy that they literally went ahead and cut the kicker after the game.
Yeah.
Oh. Insanity. One last game here. And I'm going to go on a little Caleb Williams rant here, by the way, guys. Fair warning, if you're a Caleb Williams fan, you might not like this. Listen, I picked the Bears in this, and I was wrong. But
I know you did. I was right.
The Niners squeak out a win, 42-38. I mean, talk about an amazing, fun game to watch. You got touchdown after touchdown after touchdown. Just seemed like they're going back and forth the entire time there. And, just went a little too much back and not enough for the Bears taste. That's all it is. But, in the end, it ended really with the Bears trying to get into the end zone on the final play even. I mean, it was that kind of close game where you just kind of thought whoever had the ball last was going to win. And the Bears did have the ball last, but Niners made the stop, and the Niners had to make the stop. So they end up winning. My issue, though, let me be very clear. It's not even anything with Caleb Williams' play in the game. Your team put up 38 points. You should win that game. It's the defense on both sides that just sucked.
Yeah.
My issue is this. The Bears, so the Bears had their final play, in the end zone, trying to get that last score. Luther Burden III, Esquire, their rookie receiver, gets hurt on the play. And what you saw happen was Caleb Williams went and said hi to one or two people and then went into the tunnel and left the field. There's a big, group of people that'll tell you this, and there's a reason why it's so popular, the phrase, but it's the truth. You learn a lot about someone when they lose, and you learn more about when they lose than when they win.
Yep. The
fact that he went into the tunnel before even saying goodbye to everybody and good game, blah, 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 and being, having a level of respect and sportsmanship. Beyond that, your goddamn receivers on the ground right now in the end zone. That's ridiculous. Yeah. That is ridiculous. And I'm sorry, that's not a leader. And I understand, that he's not looking horrendous this year. I'll say it that way, because let's be honest, he doesn't look amazing, but he doesn't look horrendous.
Good.
And he's doing basically what you and I said we'd be. He'd probably be a legit NFL quarterback, but he probably would never be elite. That's what you and I said coming out of the draft.
Yeah.
And so far, that's what he's been. But that's my issue, is any other position, it's not as big a deal. You are the quarterback. You have to lead this team. You don't go say hi to one or two people, and then you go ahead and just run to the tunnel.
My biggest concern, not concern, but biggest knock on Cleve, he has talent. He has the ability to throw the ball. He has the ability to run, stretch plays out. And he's shown that in the NFL caliber level this year as a sophomore with better coaching. He has the potential to get better than what he is now. My problem is his attitude and what happens when he loses, what happens when he doesn't get his way, when things are going south for him. He's not the guy that, if I was getting a bar fight and I had to choose some quarterbacks in the league, he's not the guy. He's the guy that's going to, turn the other way and just tuck his tail between the legs and just go.
Yeah. And listen, I make the jokes about the nails. I'll just say this because Jay's put in the comments, but he paints his nail. It makes Drew feels uncozy. Listen, I used to, Rob could attest this. Back when my young days, I used to paint my nails black and wear the Hot Topic gear. And at one point had highlighter green Liberties and stuff like that. I have a picture of me and Rob with 2002 at the
something.
Was
gauged ears everywhere.
Was it a Blink 182 and Green Day?
Green Day.
Yeah. So, yeah, like I said, I joke around about that stuff because I think in a football atmosphere it's a little different. But when it boils down to it, he didn't look out for his people. He didn't look out for his receivers, literally laying on the ground at the end of the game. He didn't go out to even talk to his own people. that's the thing. You want to be a leader, you do that. And what is the biggest thing you and I talked about when Caleb Williams was in the draft? And I know it's a little thing, and people probably thought we were harping on it like crazy. The fact that he literally ran to the stands after losing a big game and cried in his mommy's lap. I asked anyone to watch the end of that game and tell me he had tears in his eyes and he was about to start crying. And I can get behind the emotion. I can be fine with that. But you know what? Do it with your team.
Yes.
Do it with your team.
I agree with you, and I also agree with Jay. No Mistake is still a fantastic album.
It is. And did you see the picture of what that girl looks like from the album cover nowadays?
No.
It's bad. She's a train wreck now.
I would have to assume so.
Absolute train wreck. But, I'm just saying, like, it's an issue and it's a concern. And I think, it kind of reminds me of another guy that the Bears had at one point. It was Drew. It was. I'm going to draw a blank at his name right now. God damn it, Jay Cutler. Jay Cutler was an amazing, gifted quarterback. Could make throws that so many quarterbacks could not make and never will make in this league. Still to this day, he had that kind of arm. He lacked leadership skills. And he never won because he was not a leader.
Yeah, it was just mental stuff.
Yeah.
Although I did love me some Jay Cutler. He was entertaining.
You never know if he actually was or not.
I was about to say pretty sure he got a DUI a couple years ago, and it's like one of the rest of the pitchers who were smoking his giant cigarette.
Like I said, and it's funny because again, both Bears quarterbacks. That's who he reminds me of.
That's a good analogy.
And again, different play styles, all that. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying Caleb Williams has a lot of the physical gifts that a lot of quarterbacks would kill for. I just don't think he has the leadership skills. And if I'm sitting there and I'm on his team and I see the guy who was trying to get open laying in the middle of the end zone, and I see Caleb Williams just walk into the tunnel, leave the field, that's going to stick with me.
Yeah.
So, again, call me a Caleb Williams hater. That's fine. I'll take it. It's what I see. And it's a concern. It's an issue. So, but, let's see what we got here. Because we also we got that last game going on here. I'm sure it's not going any better. That's for sure.
No, 21-3.
It's gotten better. Last I looked, it was 21-0.
There you go. There's 11 minutes left in the third.
Yeah, so Falcons are up 21-3. And the crazy, most important part about this is that we have to look at the situation of what's going on with the NFC South in general. If the Falcons somehow win the next two games and the Bucs beat the Panthers, then that game didn't matter because the three of them become a three-way tie at 8-9. And what happens then is that the Panthers automatically win the three-way tie. The only way the Bucs can win is if they beat the Panthers this weekend, and the Falcons lose either tonight, which looks like it's not going to happen, but they've blown leads before. Oh, and then.
Yes. Or
if they lose next week. So, like I said, we'll have to see. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens in the NFC South, and it's gonna be unfortunately the crappy division yet again, because they're probably gonna have a team that's 8-9 or 9-8 win.
At least one's 500.
8-9. You could end up being last place in the NFC North. And yet you win the division in the South.
Crazy.
It's insanity. So, all right, guys. Well, that's going to call it tonight. I think we've done enough time blasting Caleb Williams. And we have Raiders fans trying to still come in and talk trash, which is just hilarious. Like,
we got Jay talking about the best punk albums out there.
Listen, it's a lot of good punk albums out there, but I gotta say, I don't consider Green Day or Blink-182 punk. It's
I
more
would
like
give them
pop
that
punk.
punk. Yeah,
It's like pop punk. Like Newfound Glory. I saw
My Friends
Blink-182
Over
Newfound
You.
Glory one time as well. I actually met Travis Barker at a show at PNC Bank Art Center back in the day too. He was really chill, actually. Really chill.
Nice.
But I don't know. I wasn't really the punk guy. I did like some of the I guess what I call it emo
more
rock.
metal. I was more metal, like old school metal. Like, give me Metallica, Iron Maiden. Give me the Anthrax. Give me Megadeth.
I gotta say, I never thought I'd hear in the show Rob say, "Give me Anthrax." But I was definitely more the Divorced Dad rock, the Korn, the Limp Bizkit, the Godsmack.
Oh, that's new metal.
You know,
and new metal. It's what I call dad rock now. It's terrible.
Look at the Raiders fan. I'm not talking trash. It's all right, dude. We're just messing with you. Don't worry about it. We get plenty of non-Giants fans in here too.
Back Sunday was great.
You know why underrated? I'm going to give you guys a couple underrated bands since we're talking music here. First off, one band that I feel like a lot of people have forgotten, and people our age probably remember, and anybody else younger probably doesn't remember at all because I don't think it stood the test of time, so to speak. Finch. Remember Finch?
Yeah.
Finch is good. I'm going to give you another one that no one really ever knows. And that's Third Strike. I saw them on Ozfest one time on second stage. And like I said, they were really, really good. Unfortunately, only had one album like 20 years ago.
Yeah. But it was also good too. They had a very small run. I want to say like 07, maybe 10. It was Adelita's Way. I saw them at what's that club that's over in Strathmore? Not Strathmore, but Sayreville. They played open up for Papa Roach.
Oh, you're talking about what it used to be Hunka Bunka back in the day. And
but it's not Starland Ballroom.
Bunka now.
Starland Ballroom.
Starland Ballroom. Yes, that's what it is. You're right. Yep.
I saw them there, and I met the lead singer, and I was wearing a Naga shirt, which, Jay, you probably know most of the fans out there. It's North American Grappling Associations. So I just competed in a tournament the week prior to seeing them. And, well, it was funny because I'm going there to get an autograph, and there's a whole bunch of these girls that are all, like, fanning over, like, oh, my God. And I walk up wearing a Naga, asking for an autograph because I just bought an album. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like, and he sees Naga, goes, you train, bro? I was like, yeah, I train. I was like, I just competed at Battle of the Beaches. And he's like, oh. And he just literally like focused me over here and we just talked jiu-jitsu for like 45 minutes.
Yeah, no, actually, I love the small venues. I saw Starland Ballroom one time. George Thorogood and the Destroyers. A little one bourbon, one scotch, one beer. I'll give you guys one more album that I still say old as hell, but I can still, and it's weird because talking albums, you don't do albums nowadays. I can still listen to this album like first song to last song and enjoy the whole entire thing. The Taste of Ink by The Used.
Oh, that's a good one. That is a good one.
Yeah. That, like I said, that I loved that album. I still do. It's just, and that's like emo rock. Like I would call it emo rock back then. It was kind of like screaming rock elements. It wasn't like Dashboard Confessionals or anything like that, you know. But
yeah,
that was good. That was good. Unfortunately, then he dated Kelly Osbourne, and his music went downhill. Can you imagine going to meet your girlfriend's dad and it's Ozzy Osbourne? Oh my god. Anyway, guys, that's gonna call it a night for us there. We got a new subscriber in the Raiders fan, man. Like I said, keep it up, man. Like I said, we messed around with other teams fans, but it's all good. It's all in fun. If anything, I kind of wish the Raiders would do good because I love the way the fan base dresses up like Legion of Doom, the wrestlers back in the day and all. Like, it's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Look, now he's talking sad. It's sad that we're talking about music. Sad as you lost to us by 24 points. I'm not being nice now. Deal.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Anyway, guys, we'll be back again for you guys Wednesday.
That's for the solo show.
Talking about our preview of the matchup here with the Cowboys. We may have a guest for that one as well. It's possible. I don't think so because it's New Year's Eve. It's gonna be a little difficult here per se. But we do have somebody who promised that they would try to come on when we played the Cowboys. So we'll see, possibly on that one. And of course, Thursday we'll be back with our preview of the last full regular season week in the NFL there, along with going over the injury report for the Giants and Cowboys game there. And of course, on game day, the season finale. I wonder if this is going to be a cliffhanger where we just go over play-by-play with the Cowboys game there. And of course, go with you guys on all the post-game coverage as well there. So again, as always, guys, we are live every Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And at least for one more game, we're live on game day. And of course, who knows? Maybe we do something in the postseason at some point as well, but you never know. And like I said, of course, obviously, we're available the next day on all the audio podcast platforms, Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, all the big ones there. So guys, if you haven't already, hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that share.
Hit that bell.
Look at it, even the Raiders fans are doing it. So appreciate you guys watching, supporting as always. And as always, Giant fans.
Go J-Man! 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 J-Man!
Go Raiders, beat the Chiefs.
Thanks for listening to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. We appreciate your support.
Thanks so much.
Please, I'm begging you. Please subscribe.